The last couple tomatoes from my garden are finally changing from green, so I am making tomato jam today. To do that, I'll start off by quartering my tomatoes, and then I'll just throw them in a large pot. I have 6 pounds of tomatoes here, and there's multiple different varieties. Some of them will give you more pulp, like a Roma tomato. That's going to have a little bit more. But I've even included cherry tomatoes in this. It's just a great way to use up those last ones, you know, that you bring in at the end of the season. And tomato jam is really good, like, well, on anything that you would eat tomatoes with. So there's a fair number of meats that it's really good with, like your beef. And then your French bread is going to be really good with it. I like pairing it with either a lot of butter or like some cream cheese, you know, just something creamy goes really well with that tomato taste. I'll then put these on the stove and simmer them until they're soft. With the tomatoes nice and soft, it's time for me to separate them into their 3 parts. I'll go ahead and send it through the food mill, and out of the food mill will come all of the skin and seeds, which I don't need. And then I have my husband's honey strainer, and this has a double mesh. I actually super love it for taking care of the tomatoes. In fact, I think it's done more tomatoes than honey these days. So this is the coarse strainer, this is the fine strainer, and I put it on top of my bucket, and the bucket will catch all of the juice. And it just works so great. Then I don't have to cook stuff down for as long, because really what I want for this recipe is the pulp. I'll go ahead and can up the tomato juice later, but the pulp is what I'm looking for right now. If you do have questions on how to use a food mill, you can take a look at my video for that. So this is a pretty little batch. I'm accustomed to doing more like, 40 pounds, 20 pounds, that kind of a thing. This will just be one load in the hopper. And it can be a little bit messy, so I recommend putting a towel down on the ground nearby. Actually, I used to just do this outside. It's a little harder right now, though, because there's snow on the ground. You can see how much of the pulp is building up in here already, so that's just perfect. I will keep the juice as well, because not only do I want to can it later, but I may need to add some to the pulp to get the right quantity. And then I just send the skin and seeds through one more round, just to get any leftover moisture and pulp out of it. Then I just measured out 3 cups worth of pulp, which it was pretty close. There was only like maybe an extra half of a cup of pulp that I didn't end up using. Now, if for some reason you don't have enough pulp, you can add just a little bit of juice in to get it up to that 3 cup level. So now we're gonna make our jam. This is the easy part. So I'll put the tomato pulp into my pan. I then add 6 tablespoons of pectin, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of lemon peel, half a teaspoon of salt, and half of a teaspoon of butter. The butter is optional, but it does help to keep the foam down. Then I'll place this on the stove and bring it to a boil. Now that that's boiling, I'll add 3½ cups of sugar, and you want it all pre-measured because you need to put it in all at once. And I'll stir that in, stirring continuously, because it burns a little more easily at this point as soon as you add that sugar. As soon as it comes to a good rolling boil, I'll set the timer for 1 minute. It's actually kind of important, because if you don't do it for long enough or do it too long, you can inactivate your pectin and then end up with jam that doesn't set. Now I'll set the timer for 1 minute, and I know that it's a full rolling boil because even though I'm stirring, it's continuing to boil. I have to be a little bit careful because sometimes it'll pop up and get my hand, so I kind of try to hold my hand off to the side of it. Now I'll fill my jars up to 1/4 of an inch of headspace, which is the space from the top of the food to the top of the jar. It looks super great already. The color is just perfect for these. The food mill lets the occasional tomato seed through, which I actually don't mind. And then of course there's the lemon peel. So you see them floating in there, and they're just super cute. It's a really good idea at the end to use a spatula to remove any last bits of jam, because otherwise there's actually a fair amount that's wasted. I then wipe the rims of the jars, because a lot of times there can be just a little bit of jam that gets on it, and that can interfere with the seal. Then I'll put my lids on, and I'll apply my rings to fingertip tight. That just means you don't want to crank them on, just using your fingertips as opposed to like full hand. I then place them in the boiling water bath, and I'll process them for 15 minutes if I'm at sea level, but since I'm at 1,200 feet, I'll go for 20. The timer just went off, so now I'll turn off the burner, remove the lid, and allow it 5 minutes to cool down. Now I'll remove the jars from a canner and place them on a towel on the counter. I try to keep them about 1 to 2 inches apart so that they can cool a little bit better. And then I let them sit for 24 hours without disturbing them. Then I'll come back and remove the ring and use hot soapy water to wash off the jars. After that, I'll store them in a cool, dry place and eat them within the next 1 to 3 years. So now it's time for the taste test. The crazy thing is with that lemon peel in it, it's got a very citrusy feel along with that tomato. Oh, it's just really good, and I highly recommend doing it on French bread.